We are at a home in Cambridge, Massachusetts, designed by architect Bob Augustine for a developer and builder, Duncan MacArthur. The home is known for its green ethos, its unique choice of materials, and its intensely contemporary aesthetic in a neighborhood filled with traditional colonial New England-style homes.
This house has turned into a very, I think a controversial piece. Some of the neighbors love it, some of the neighbors hate it. It's not just about modernism. When we designed the house, I was very interested in the flat roof triple deckers, which come from the turn of the century. Not to copy them, but I think to look for that inspiration of design that comes from them. The house comes from the site. If you go to the front of the house, we have Grove Street, which was a very growing suburban street with a lot of traffic. We kind of built a cedar box that wrapped the whole house on that side to protect the house. There's just small punched openings. It quiets down the whole event. You kind of walk through that wall, and as you walk through the living room, enter the house, you open up onto Fresh Pond, the whole golf course, the views of the city. So you almost step in from the street and you step into the outdoors. The skin on this side is pre-patinated copper. It turns out that 80% of all copper that was ever made is still in existence, and 40% that's used, that's refabricated into building products each year, is made from old copper. So it's a bit like gold in a way. It's been around for centuries. That's a sustainable idea. Part of having a dual house was that the front of the house on the street side can be more contextual. We broke it up with massing and scale so it would sort of match into the neighborhood in size and scale as you drove up the street. Here on the nature side, it's much more dynamic and much more open.
Yeah, I love the materials. I love that we have this natural cedar out front, juxtaposed with this great copper, with the green copper that's already been pre-patinaed. So I love the use of the materials. I love sort of the regimented boxy form that we have in the front and how it sort of comes out in the back, and you have these almost enveloping arms. You have these two wings that sort of come out at opposing angles. It almost sounds kind of silly, but I really love the garage, and I love the simple form of the garage, and I love its relationship to the house. You know, it's a very square house, they're very controlled lines. It almost to me feels like it's like a child of the house. You know, there's a risk as a developer in building a project like this because the perception in New England often is, you know, people think about houses, they have to have a pitched roof and a brick chimney and a white picket fence. And so when you build something like this, you definitely lose, you know, there's a percentage of people that are just going to walk away. But the people that are interested in it are so much more enthusiastic about the house than a traditional colonial or some other project.